I decided to create Project Vos not only for my capstone, but because I felt like I had something to say. And despite being a communications major, I don't always know how to say things unless it's in like a creative setting. So I think that poetry and writing and that's my main form of communication. So my most recent encounter with sexual assault was with someone that I was always really good friends with. We'd been friends for quite a few years. He was someone that I trusted, someone who was like family. It's not something that I think goes away or disappears, like it's never really wiped clean. And I'm always back and forth on, did I do something wrong? Am I making something out of nothing? I don't know. I think I'm still trying to figure out what it was that I experienced. I don't know how to say this stuff. Like, I don't want to give too many details because it's not an issue that's really resolved yet. I think it's something I'm still trying to figure out and still trying to determine whether or not parts of it were my fault. And most days I'm solid on knowing that this isn't something I did. It's not my fault. I'm not making something out of nothing. Like, I'm not the problem. I mean, a few things happened over the course of a few years. There was a time when he took a topless picture of me that I didn't realize was going to be taken. Like, I wasn't aware that was going to happen. And it was something that I had heard of him doing to someone else I knew before me on his cell phone. But there were times where us friends would be hanging out and drinking, and I'd be asleep, and this person would be trying to remove parts of my clothing or put their hands in clothing. And I clearly wasn't okay with it because I would roll over and try to hide or I'd leave. This person was part of my everyday life, and in everyday life, he was great. I didn't know how my best friend and this person could exist in one. I talked to my partner, and I wasn't sure what label to give it. I wasn't sure how to classify it. I just told him, this happened to me, and I don't know what to do with it. And he kind of just repeated everything back to me and told me I have every right to feel the way I did, and I felt really violated and confused. And he just really reassured me that I was justified in that. Since I've come to these realizations and I've talked to friends about it and talked to other people, I know now that I'm not the only person who has experienced something kind of in this realm with him. Other people I've talked to said that they've been uncomfortable or he's done things that kind of fit within the same area as my experience does. So I know I'm not the only one. My friends are really supportive of my decision to kind of cut myself out of that circle. It means that I can't see them very often, which is really unfortunate, but they're supportive of that decision. I do miss them though. I think that I heal all the time. My writing is obviously a very big part of my life. I mostly write poetry. I think that's my way of communication, that's my way of getting things out of me. I write to inform people. I write about all of my experiences and my lessons, and not necessarily lessons that I want to teach people, but lessons I'm learning. I'm documenting the things that I've gone through. I have this favorite quote from a writer named Eduardo Galeano. I write for those who cannot read me. And that really sums it up. I think I always just kind of felt like if you don't have something to say, then why are you here? If you don't have something to add or contribute, then what are you doing? And that's one of the ways I contribute. That's how I want to add. I don't know that I'd call myself an artist really, but I really do love visual art. Um, I draw a little bit, and mostly what I draw is actually these crazy little patterns that I just kind of make up as I go. There's not really a set idea when I start them. They just form on the paper. I think they look a lot more planned out than they really are. It's therapeutic. I get weirdly obsessive with them actually. I think I get this really weird satisfaction from stressing myself out. And it's more than just something I like to doodle on a page. This is one of my forms of art. This is something that helps me figure things out. And I know it doesn't make any sense, but once they're done, I feel like there's something that I can read. And they're not intended to be, but sometimes I'll find myself just sitting down at a cafe or something. Instead of doing homework or whatever it is I'm supposed to be doing, I'll be drawing these patterns, and just all of the stress leaves my body, and I feel like whatever issue I was trying to solve or whatever I was thinking about, it ends up on the page in this really complicated mess of lines and swirls. It's like drawing some of that stress out of me. It's about more than just the way it looks. If I were going to describe myself, I think that I would say I'm a really ambitious person. I'm always stressed about something. I kind of just live my life at like 100 miles an hour, trying not to slow down at all, or else I feel like I'm being lazy. And I'm actually okay with that. And I know a lot of people kind of want me to slow down and take a second to breathe and to relax, but that's just not the way I am. I think I'm really stubborn and I want to do everything myself, and I always want to do it my way. And maybe I'll unlearn that, but right now that's definitely how I would describe myself. But I think that's okay. I'm still figuring it out. This thing that happened to me, it's something I think about a lot, it's something I reflect on a lot. I'm still trying to figure it out, but I'll just add it to the growing list